post-match pint. We're in the Glenbook after Liverpool have got beaten 0-0 by Leeds United. Most definitely marching on together in the away end today. They were loving it, loving every single minute of it. Fair play to them, by the way. Good atmosphere from them all the way through the match on what was a very, very cold evening. And they were happy enough with the 0-0. They came for the 0-0. They got the 0-0. They rested players. They rotated players. They've got one eye on a bigger game, which is Man United at home. But they've got away with a point. And Liverpool didn't do anywhere near enough to test them to make them earn that point.
No, Happy New Year, they said. Happy New Year, people have been saying to me all day.
Have they indeed?
Well, that was a fucking lie, wasn't it? I don't feel very happy. The New Year bit was accurate.
Yeah.
The New Year bit was factual. I mean, it's a really disappointing result. It's another disappointing performance. It's another game where the Reds have tailed off massively in the second half and the opposition have looked more likely to win the game. Hugely frustrating. New Year, you and I, we've all been to enough games on New Year's Day to know they're rarely classics, the atmosphere is up there. No. But that felt to me today like a ground where a lot of people in it didn't particularly believe. A lot of people weren't enjoying what they were seeing, actively annoyed by what they're seeing. The Reds were ponderous, didn't move the ball well enough. Even when they had control, there was no intensity. And then they dropped off, looked tired and out of ideas in the second half. And quite frankly, it's not really good enough what we're seeing at the moment.
It isn't good enough today. I'd have a bit more sympathy if they'd have played on the 29th. I've seen that before. I've seen 26th, 29th first. And that moment of, oh God, everyone's picking the legs up and hanging on for dear life.
Christmas period's been kind to them in terms of fixtures.
It has until now.
Yeah.
Now it gets unpleasant.
Yeah. Well, let's see what they do, how they respond.
And this is, as I say, I've seen that New Year's Day game before over and over, where everyone is the walking wounded. You patch up, you do the best you can. Liverpool managed to evoke the air of that without needing to over the course of the match. And it was a tough watch. I just don't think that you're not walking away from anyone outside of, to an extent, the goalkeeper who has a bit of a funny day and the two centre-backs. You're not walking away with anyone else feeling as though they touched the skies. Maybe 10 minutes of Frimpong first half.
Yeah, it started out me thinking, Frimpong has just sort of picked up where he's left off, which is incredibly impressive considering he's just come back from an injury and we've just flung him on for another game to start and sort of save the day. All my mates were just saying to me, God, it's just so boring. And I was thinking, well, I can't come on here and just say it's boring because that's fucking redundant. But it was just very, very boring. But in a weird way, the control was there. And throughout the match, I was like, the control is there. But because there's no impetus in attack, it's like we've not figured out that control is not just about being defensive. And the manager used to always talk about controlled aggression. It was all the control and none of the aggression. But that seemed to suit Leeds. I mean, they were happy just to soak up the pressure because they are really, really tough to beat. I mean, I don't
Big
think...
side, well organised.
Yeah, and I don't think there's many fans that came into this thinking, well, we're going to beat Leeds. I think everyone thought, well, it's going to be a tough game, and if we beat Leeds, it'll be well-deserved.
Before Wolves, there was a bit of it might be 3-4-5 chat. I've heard none of that around this one today. No one's had the attitude of this will be a walk in the park for Liverpool.
No.
Let's be clear, but it looked to me as though Liverpool also turned up with the attitude of, well, this is going to be dead hard, and so therefore played as though, well, it's going to be dead hard.
Yeah, and there was no sort of positive mindset in terms of they're missing Rodon, which is a huge miss for them. He's been fantastic for them. There was no sort of like, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not playing, he's just scored in 7. Well, that's something that we don't have to worry about. I felt like we dealt with the first, we conceded the set piece off Connor Bradley very early. We deal with it quite well. And there's the opportunity to be like, okay, we've done well there, and build from that. There was no building from confidence in the game. There was no like sort of, okay, we've done really well in sort of this aspect or that aspect. It just felt all a little bit disjointed and a bit clueless, to be honest. And it's annoying to see the manager sort of default into his usual, well, let's just shove loads of attackers on and move a midfielder into right back.
But I want to talk about that because I think that the shoving loads of attackers on, to me, evokes an attitude of, we'll risk everything to win the game. But that's not the attitude from 0 to 70 minutes. So to me, that's one of the things that makes it a little bit odd. In that Liverpool, I think in a number of ways, for instance, Liverpool, there was one where there was some frustration in the crowd, and I think with a few of the players, where they could have counter-attacked off a corner.
YouTube, press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. the best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.